The hell are you supposed to be?
This is Batman. Look, it's no secret at this point that the most recent installment in this endless well of Batman properties is, well, yes, please. The Batman is directed by Matt Reeves and stars Robert Pattinson as the angriest, meanest, darkest, most intelligent, and in my opinion, probably the greatest Batman we've ever seen on the big screen. Now, listen, I know I'm gonna get comments explaining what a bag of shit I am for skipping over the praise of Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale's iteration of the Caped Crusader, and we'll get to that later, maybe in a different video. Because the fact is, we are not here to talk about what I loved and didn't love about the Nolan trilogy. Today, we're here to talk about So I'm going to try to skip over everything that we already know, but just in case you're not up to date on the film and need some additional context, here we go. This movie was originally supposed to be written, directed, and starring Ben Affleck as Batman and take place in the Snyderverse with Deathstroke as the main villain. After some personal issues on Ben's side and some underwhelming reactions on BVS and Justice League, the project eventually ended up in the capable hands of Matt Reeves, who had his own idea for a Batman story that focused on Batman being the world's greatest detective, and this world would take place in its own universe, not connected to any existing continuity. The movie was rewritten, completely recasted, shot, delayed, continued shooting, delayed again, and then launched the most incredible marketing campaign of any movie ever made. Seriously, it was so good. It was so good. And the months of development turned into years, and after years of waiting, the day finally came.
When that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning.
Okay, I think we're caught up. So let me just say now, I loved this film, and this is going to be a spoiler-free essay. Well, we've heard it all already. Pattinson gave us a truly terrifying and intimidating Batman. Paul Dano left his mark on the iconic Rogues Gallery favorite as the Riddler. Zoe Kravitz showed us that she is way more than just the voice of Catwoman in the Lego movie, but that she could actually become Catwoman. Colin Farrell disappeared into the character as Penguin, giving us a truly transformative performance, and who could forget Jeffrey Wright as the hard-boiled detective Jim Gordon, who's just as committed to the case as Batman and has the same gap in trust with his fellow detectives. This movie's dark, it's scary, it's grounded, although I really hate that word. It's just, ugh. It definitely has moments that will shock you and even a few moments that'll make you chuckle. This is Batman. Now, one of the pieces of feedback that I've been seeing is the lack of Bruce Wayne in this movie and that the character comes off as kind of one-dimensional. But in my opinion, the story being told here is about just that. Bruce Wayne doesn't really exist yet. There's really only the Batman. The Bruce Wayne that we're more familiar with is more confident in public.
At least he's getting something done.
Bruce, help me out here. Huh? Well, if a guy dresses up like a bat, clearly has issues.
More charming, more eccentric, and just an overall complete contrast to Bruce Wayne's alter ego as the Batman. While this movie strays miles from the iterations we've seen before and the iteration that we almost got, I think the point of the story, which takes some inspiration from the comic book Batman Ego, wants the audience to see Bruce as a shadow lingering behind the cape and cowl of his true identity. In a way, instead of Bruce Wayne becoming the Batman, the movie gives us the Batman and the hope that maybe one day he'll become Bruce Wayne. It's basically Matt Reeves giving us our dessert before dinner, and you know what? I am here for it. What this film does differently than any other Batman we've seen in live action is scare the shit out of me.
I'm vengeance.
No, what it does is invite you into the mind of a frustrated Batman. A Batman that hasn't found the right motivation and isn't as organized as Bale's Batman, nor is he jaded or as battle damaged as Ben Affleck's Batman. Pattinson is a lurking presence in the shadows, waiting for a reason to come out and terrorize you for stealing a car stereo or graffitiing on a wall. It does seem that he's kind of unsure of the line between a fitting punishment and just an absolute, almost undeserving ass kicking. The cinematography in this movie is gorgeous. Gotham looks exactly like the kind of place you would see such horrifying monsters. There's never a point in the movie where you really feel comfortable fully. There's always this sense of who's behind that person, or what am I not seeing here? And that feeling is sure to be the deciding factor between whether or not you connect with this iteration of Bruce Wayne, but personally, I did. From a technical aspect, this movie uses blocking, lighting, and set design that really makes you feel like you're wandering through an absolute nightmare, discovering new and creepier things the further you drift off into the darkness. And Gotham City is grungy. It's rainy, it's dark, it looks like it's never daylight, and it looks like it never stops raining, and I love it. This is Batman. The villains in this movie are real? Can I say real? Colin Farrell deserves all the praise he's been getting. I definitely don't think it's overhyped. I think it's properly hyped, if anything. I genuinely got the Penguin from the performance. It was really, really good. John Turturro was Falcone and did a wonderful job. Of course, you can expect that from him, but he really did have a bigger impact on the second half of the film than I expected, and I really enjoyed the way that it played out, especially in that last scene that we see with them. If you've seen the movie, then you know what I mean. Paul Dano was also a surprise, and listen, I fully expected to enjoy his performance as Edward Nashton, aka the Riddler, but we got something more. He delivered a few subtleties that really left his mark on the Riddler. He was creepy, sinister, menacing, and whatever else everyone else is saying, it's probably true. The surprise to me was that he played the character a little bit more loose than I was expecting. You could almost see little eccentric and flamboyant pieces of the Riddler coming out through this scary and menacing character. It was really beautiful, so I loved it. I thought it was genius. 10 out of 10 for Paul Dano.
Please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
You're part of this too. How am I part of it? You'll see.
This is Batman. The movie was everything I hoped it would be. The costumes were perfect, the score was absolutely amazing, the action was meaningful and super engaging, the detective work was exciting, and the goddamn cast was outstanding. I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. I do have a separate video coming that will contain spoilers, but we will be doing a more deep dive into some of the specific things that I enjoyed so much about this movie. If you haven't seen The Batman starring Robert Pattinson and directed by Matt Reeves yet, then hopefully this video will convince you to do it. I honestly think you should go experience it at the movies as I did. It was incredible. Make sure you drop a like on the video. This is a new channel, so please consider subscribing and make sure you ring that bell so you don't miss anything. I hope you Gothamites are having a safe one out there. My name is Kier, and we will see you next time here at the movies.